На свете все преобразилось. Даже простые вещи, таз, кувшин, когда стояла между нами, как на страже.
Что касается детей, то ты определенно сделаешь их несчастными.
Слоистая и твердая вода.
Hello, my fellow Arthauzians. I am back to serve you up another helping of immaculate imagery with a side of emotional turbulence. This time, though, we're headed straight for dessert, if dessert were a scoop of vanilla ice cream slowly melting in the palms of a dying child. When it comes to canonical films and filmmakers, there are really only a handful that value art above story, and that's why I am pumped to be dedicating the next 6.5-ish minutes to the seminal art house masterpiece, The Mirror, by none other than the king of art house himself, Andrei Tarkovsky. The film, put simply, is a compilation of the fogged memories of a dying poet. Now, at this point, you may already be thinking, is this for me? Or simply, is this fucker still trying to make me depressed?
А почему вы такая грустная? А?
But I'm going to make the case that this beautiful ball of abstract nostalgic surrealism cuts through the bullshit to affect you well beyond the scope of its 107 minutes of memory chaos. And it starts with time.
Уж больно все срочно, все спешат, всем некогда.
In Tarkovskian cinematic rhetoric, time is an embodiment of the theory of duration, a philosophical reaction to the existence of free will as a direct result of time's immeasurability.
Сейчас, собственно, что?
Without an endpoint, who could possibly determine what we're doing now or in the future? Cinema naturally creates irreality in the way it truncates a specific portion of time. Thus, according to Tarkovsky, real time is an immutable and indistinguishable force on time in cinema. The virtue of cinema is that it appropriates time, complete with that material reality to which it is indissolubly bound, and which surrounds us day by day and hour by hour. Time, captured in its factual forms and manifestations. Such is the supreme idea of cinema as an art. On that idea, I build my working hypotheses, both practical and theoretical. And believe me when I say there has been no greater appropriation on time than The Mirror. It traverses time like a brain does memories, wrought with the meandering mental detective work inherent to self-reflection, as well as the abstract emotional embellishments inherent to trauma. There's no definitive ambition to the orientation of scenes beyond depicting them as they come to the dying poet's mind, and the poor memory of the poet only furthers our disorientation, like how he can only imagine his wife as looking like his mother. Tarkovsky thusly chose that the two very different characters would be played by the same actress, Margarita Terrakova. Pretty much fucking nails it. The portrayal of time's uniformity creates a very unclear, elastic world, yet effectively gives us the sense of a person's entire life, hopping from one era to another as if you just thought of it yourself. If you're interested in this unique quality of Tarkovsky's cinema, I recommend doing some research on Gilles Deleuze and Henri Bergson, two writers very influential on the director's work. The next crucial tool which really drives the impact of this film is the implementation of surreal elements. I'm not just talking about the seesaw usage of black and white and color film, or the non-narrative shots of nature, or the real World War II footage, or the narration being Tarkovsky's actual father's actual poetry.
У человека тело одно как одиночек, душе осточертела сплошная оболочка.
I'm talking about all of it. This is a beginning-to-end onslaught of experimentation used to create the idea of a person's life, and it works. Every single facet of filmmaking serves its purpose with intimate detail to establish a unique personal experience. Locations, acting, color, composition, sound, music, editing, they are all consistent in their variability, which is both conceptually and cinematically profound. The sense of controlled randomization remains unmatched even though countless filmmakers mimic the symphony-like style, including directors like Lynne Ramsey, Denis, and even yours truly. Not that I deserve to be in the same conversation or even the same universe as such accomplished auteurs, but just on a personal note, this film changed my entire perception of what makes a film a film. This film proves that a classic narrative structure is not the end-all be-all. Sure, it can get tricky when the story isn't beginning, middle, and end. This one's more middle and beginning and middle, but all of the pieces are there for us to experience, with built-in emotional cues that guide us on a deeply resonant and nonetheless complete journey. With all this said, I really don't know what you're thinking now, and if you're still not convinced that this film is for you,
Что с тобой, Маруся? Тебе плохо?
I get that. You may not be invigorated to go watch The Mirror if you weren't already interested. But I guarantee there's something that I either said or showed you in this video that, for a second, made you think harder about movies. And if you do watch this film, I can guarantee you that you're going to remember it the next day when you look at yourself in the mirror, or the next week when you're trying to figure out how time works in Tenet, or years later when you're trying to remember what it felt like when Trump was president, but you can't distinguish the memory of the moment from the feeling you have towards it. There's something that's flawlessly, scarily, naturally us in this movie, and watching it and never forgetting it is its legacy, and that's what makes Andrei Tarkovsky's The Mirror an essential art house film.